Hello there, my name is Carpo, and I'm a novelty seeker. I'm the kind of person who would be probably the most likely to continue scrolling down social media. Therefore, I'm the kind of person who has to restrict myself from doing so. I've always deleted any type of notifications or bell icons. I don't do any of that. I don't have any notifications on my phone for any of my social media apps. I don't use Facebook. I only started using Instagram recently for my guitar building because I need a place to share the pictures. And YouTube doesn't do very well for that. But generally, even though I can share my ideas and thoughts in many different places, I've generally stuck to YouTube over the past 10 years. And that's where I'm able to convey how I feel about day to day life. And each time I make a video, I talk about something different. And I don't even want to think about the fact that there's like 4,300 videos that I've posted. I mean, it blows my mind. I'm like, what a waste of time, right? But no, instantly I slap myself into reality and say, no, of course it's not a waste of time. I mean, you're talking about philosophy, things that are important to you. So stick with it. And that's me talking to my own self because the reason why each topic is unique is because I can't stick with one thing for a long time. Many of you who follow my channel for a while probably know that I've tried to do many different things, like Carpo's Corner or the mental health series or advice series, and it just falls apart. Like I can't keep myself organized on one particular path. Now I still post videos within these series, of course, but I don't focus my channel any one direction. And if I'd made my channel even about, let's say, RC cars, or I made my channel about drones, or I'd made my channel about school buses because I have a school bus, then I would probably have a lot more followers by now. But I always want to talk about these random topics, a lot of them controversial, which of course pushes my channel to the bottom, and that's fine. And that's not really the topic today, but more novelty is what I'm here to talk about. Novelty, I am a novelty seeker, which is why I have to go from thing to thing, which is why one day I might post something saying, that I have some spiritual belief that everybody's connected and everybody has a purpose, and the next day might be like, oh yeah, nihilism 101, or, cryptocurrency sucks, or, post something like that. I know that people are kind of, everyone has different opinions. There's different times where I feel different ways about different things. And so let me back up for a minute and get to the novelty part. What do I mean by novelty? Novel means new. The word novel, novella, novel, whatever you goes back to, I guess, Greek or probably Greek, but it means something new or previously undiscovered. And so novel for a lot of artists, and I consider myself an artist of many forms. And that sounds arrogant, but I am an artist. I like to build things. I like to make music. I like to create. I like to get my hands in and create things, even writing or drawing. They're all different forms of art. And I find myself needing to always go to something new. I'm not the kind of guy who can say, I'm going to draw pictures of buildings and that's going to be my art form. I'm somebody who goes, oh, this week I'm doing resin. Next week I'm doing, pottery. I just finished doing a resin guitar like 10 minutes ago. It has a nice coat of epoxy resin over like this circuit board. And as I was making it, I was telling myself, oh, God, why are you making this guitar? Like, this is not something that the average person would buy. But I can't help it because I'm not looking, I guess, to create something that the average person would like. There's going to be one person out there who will really like it. I like it. So, at any rate, trying different things and new things is taking a risk. And one of the hardest things for people is to take a risk because we often are afraid of new things. I guess there was one point I can bring up here. Since this is off the cuff, I need to cover the topic of liberal versus conservative mindsets. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about actual brains. This has been something that's studied in MRIs, and they've taken MRIs of people's brains who consider themselves strongly liberal or strongly conservative, and found that people who lean left, farther left, are have more openness to experience, meaning that they're willing to try new things and are more interested in novel things and trying to see how things work out. Whereas people on the conservative side, obviously by definition, are more conservative. They want to conserve the way things are and not change things, not take any chances. Both types of mindsets, it's almost like a left and right brain within our own heads. That's the way I see it. Is in society, the reason why that's pretty averagely balanced is because most people are somewhere in the middle. But the fact is, we need both types of thought patterns. And it's always fascinated me because I'm a novel-seeking person. Some other people don't like to try new things. They're scared. There are people I know who are very rigid in their structure. They want to know everything planned out way ahead of time. They want to make sure that everything's perfect. They don't like it when there's any surprises in their vacation or anything that changes. They can't roll with the punches. It's like, no, I planned it this way. It didn't work out. That's a conservative mindset, even if the person doesn't realize it. It's not a political thing. But anyhow, novelty seeking often leads people to drug seeking behavior. And I'm not going to say that I'm immune to that at all. And it's something that not a lot of people want to talk about because it opens you up personally. So if I sit here and tell you about my own addictions, then I'm opening myself up, not just talking to strangers on the internet, but to any law enforcement, to friends, to family, to neighbors that watch the channel. And so I prefer to kind of keep my discussions about drugs to a minimal. But I've had my own addictions through the past, and I've actually, even though I kind of beat myself up sometimes, I still take kratom, for example, after 10 years, and I've never had any reason to quit. But I find that it's beneficial to me. And I say, okay, when it starts to become some non-beneficial, then I will change my perspective on it. And then maybe perhaps I will abandon my interest in it. You know, I started smoking cannabis when I was way too young. And I was always into those new feelings. The first time I tried it, I got nothing. Second time, whoa, wow. And I fell in love with it. And don't want to ever encourage this because I encourage people to wait till they're adults to try any substance. But this was back in like 1990, I think, 89, 90. And I was about 15 years old. And I ended up liking it. So every weekend, my friends would go out. We'd bring a couple bowls. It was kind of expensive for the good stuff, but we could buy an ounce of Mexican for like $80. So pool together some money, you know. And then my friend I met in high school, whose grandpa was like some mafioso dude. He was like from an Italian family. He was importing stuff from Thailand, and he had a whole chest full of it. So he'd bring it to me at school. And at any rate, I loved that feeling, that mystique, that mysterious nature of smoking something that's illegal. As I got older, I continued to smoke it. And now being 45 years old, that's 30 years I've been smoking it. But here's the thing I want to point out. I said, man, I'll never quit smoking this at one time. I said, and even if I wanted to, I said that how could I ever break this habit? Even when I was on probation, I didn't quit. You know, I got myself in trouble, kept getting dirty UAs. But now I smoke much, much less than I used to. Over the last few years, I haven't smoked quite as much as I used to. I don't like being incapacitated during the day, but the point being that if you're a regular smoker, then it's not as big of a deal. Kind of like alcohol or anything else. So, my point being here, we need to control our habits, we need to control our addictions, control how much we consume. We will often make it excuses like, well, I only drink or smoke or do this much a day. And that's fine if that works for us. But we know deep down inside whether we feel we could do better. I think the problem arises when we are so kind of lost in where to go next that we aren't willing to take a chance. For example, go camping for a week without any substances, right? Or to let go of some sort of an attachment we have to someone or something. For each person, it's unique. And At any rate, that's my ramble for the day. I think that novelty seeking is inherent within a lot of us, and you can't really get rid of it. You can't abandon it. You can't, it comes with impatience. I'm an, I named my school bus Patience because it goes so slow. She is so slow on the hills. It's unbelievable. Like 30 miles an hour through mountain passes where there's like 10, 15 people behind us and nowhere to pull over. You just do what you got to do. Named her Patience. But it was more of my patience because I'm an impatient driver to start with. And that's, I think, that comes with that nature. I see people who are just oblivious and don't even notice traffic, don't even care. They don't even pay attention to what other people are doing. They have tunnel vision and they go in their zombie way. I encountered lots of people like this, but then people like myself who are intense, who are always looking around. And it may come as a fault to some people. They'd be like, well, that just sounds too much. Why do you want to live like that? You don't have a choice. You just are who you are. And we seek novelty, I think, to escape the mundane nature of reality and to put ourselves into a mindset where we can see things a little bit differently for just a moment. I prefer short acting substances and events and experiences over long term because long term you get used to something. It's the same reason taking pharmaceuticals for years on end to try to overcome some sort of a depression or anxiety, I don't think is the best approach. I think short-term attack is the best. And at any rate, that's what I've got for today. Thanks for listening. Check out my Instagram where I make my guitars. It's Carpo Craft Guitars. And also I've got a Discord. I don't have a Facebook, but I do have a podcast, 15-minute free thinking. And if you want to support the channel, check me out at patreon.com/carpo719, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.